Chapter 79, Found by Accident. Only one person kept coming to the Cold Palace every month. Other than when it was time for him to visit, the Cold Palace was usually wrapped in silence. Similar to the silence felt by a lonely sycamore tree in autumn. Lin Jufeng sometimes wondered if he should plant flowers to improve his mood. Because there was no one else in the Cold Palace, Lin Jufeng was used to living alone with the white cat. Therefore, he usually wouldn't go to observe the entrance of the Cold Palace. Lin Jufeng knew which day Dakin would come every month. Dakin would always come at a fixed interval, he wouldn't disturb him if it wasn't time. As a result, Lin Jufeng and the white cat didn't notice a little fairy walking in front of the Cold Palace's entrance today. Princess Yulin held an old key in her hand. She looked around and said, "This must be Lord Zhenbei's abandoned palace. It has been converted into the Cold Palace of the Yuha God dynasty. Sure enough, this palace is really dilapidated. It's a waste simply leaving all of these here to rot without using them." Princess Yulin couldn't help but shake her head. She slowly walked to the door of the Cold Palace and looked at the stone lions that had been ravaged by time. She reached out and wiped them, revealing a layer of dust. There are no traces of anyone living here, so why did Grandpa Emperor still keep the key? Princess Yulin looked at the stone lions in curiosity. The closed doors of the Cold Palace were covered in dust. Inside the door was a lock designed by a skilled craftsman. It could only be opened with a specific key. Princess Yulin pushed the door, but there was no response. This key should be able to open it. I shall go in and take a look. Princess Yulin inserted the key. Caw, caw, caw. The door of the Cold Palace that hadn't been opened for a long time churned to life. It actually let out a screeching sound as it was being pushed open. Princess Yulin frowned and added more force into her pushing. Boom. The main door of the Cold Palace was directly pushed open. What greeted her eyes wasn't dirt and grime. Instead, there existed a neat passageway and a courtyard without weeds. This was different from what Princess Yulin had imagined. She looked at this scene suspiciously and remained standing still. In the Cold Palace, Lin Jufeng and the white cat woke up from their meditation at the same time. They looked at each other in surprise. Someone had entered the Cold Palace. This was something that had never happened in so many years. Lin Jufeng remembered that since he was banished to the Cold Palace, only people from the Chasing Corpse sect had sneaked in twice. After those 2 times, the Chasing Corpse sect turned tail and didn't dare to come again. Other than them were Emperor Yuan, Emperor Ming, and the group of 4, which was the young monk, the 2 Taoist priests, and the towering man. Apart from these individuals, no one else had voluntarily entered the Cold Palace. Following Emperor Ming's death, the doors of the Cold Palace had never been opened for more than 5 years. They had always been tightly shut. Today, someone unexpectedly opened the doors of the Cold Palace, and it was strangely a young girl. Lin Jufeng scanned with her his divine soul and saw her appearance. She was an exquisite young lady. She was in her late 20s and her figure radiated nothing but the prime of youth. Her face was covered in the youthfulness of those that were truly young. At this moment, her eyes were filled with curiosity as she observed the Cold Palace. "Is she someone you know?" The white cat looked at Lin Jufeng suspiciously. Lin Jufeng shook his head and said, "I don't know her." "Then, why did she come here?" The white cat curiously jumped onto the wall and quickly approached. When it saw Princess Yulin, her eyes lit up. Even cats knew to admire a picturesque scene. The white cat found it even stranger. This girl looked either rich or noble, the way she carried herself also made it obvious that she came from an extraordinary family. So, why did she come to the Cold Palace that everyone avoided at all costs? The white cat raised her claws. Her sharp claws then shot out. She wanted to protect her own territory. She wouldn't allow other people of the same gender to casually enter. As long as this woman stepped into the Cold Palace, she would chase her out. Princess Yulin looked at the clean Cold Palace and mumbled, "This doesn't seem like the Cold Palace that people described as a place that can drive anyone into madness. Since Grandpa Emperor left the key behind, it means that he has also been here before. There should be no problem. I'll go in and take a look." Princess Yulin stepped into the Cold Palace. "Meow." The white cat called out and was about to attack. She wanted to defend her territory and chase this woman out. Boom. But in the very next moment, space froze. The white cat's body froze on top of the wall, unable to move at all. "Why did you stop me?" the white cat asked Lin Jufeng angrily. She wanted to defend her territory. Every animal was territorial, it was natural for her to do this. Lin Jufeng reached out and carried her down. He stroked the fuming white cat and said, "You must not hurt her. She's not an outsider." "Not an outsider." The white cat was confused. "Didn't you say that you don't know her?" The white cat questioned. Her pair of eyes that seemed to contain all the stars in the sky blinked meaningfully. Lin Jufeng looked slightly embarrassed as he said, "She's one of the two people we discussed yesterday." One of the two people we discussed yesterday. The two children belonged to Lin Jufeng's grandchildren generation, and they were also Lin Tianyuan's son and daughter. The one who came here today should call Lin Jufeng, grand-uncle. The white cat was no longer angry. She looked at Lin Jufeng curiously. Yesterday, a certain someone swore that he would never come into contact with them. But now, your grandnephew is here. You didn't expect this, did you? Lin Jufeng remained expressionless and he didn't speak. The only way to resolve the awkwardness was to pretend that nothing had happened. The expressionless Lin Jufeng looked a little cold. The white cat angrily knocked her head against Lin Jufeng's chest and said indignantly, "You always use this expression on me. I don't even want to talk to you anymore." Lin Jufeng stroked her gently and replied, "I said that there wouldn't be any contact, so it's definitely true. She probably just came in out of curiosity to take a look. After she sees that there is nothing here, she would definitely leave." "You don't plan to meet her?" The white cat was surprised. "What should we talk about if we met?" Lin Jufeng countered. The white cat was speechless. He didn't know what to say if they met. Just as the man and the cat were bickering, Princess Yulin had already closed the doors of the cold palace halfway. Then, she walked along the passageway and passed through the front yard, entering Lin Jufeng's resting place, which was also the courtyard Lin Jufeng lived in. Lin Jufeng and the white cat looked at each other, dumbfounded. "The courtyard hasn't been tidied up yet," the white cat blurted out. Lin Jufeng stepped out and entered the courtyard. He was about to tidy up the place when Princess Yulin pushed the door open and entered. Lin Jufeng directly encountered Princess Yulin. At this moment, the white cat's breathing came to a halt. But she discovered that Princess Yulin seemed to not be able to see Lin Jufeng, who was standing in the courtyard. She walked straight in and looked around in surprise. The white cat heaved a sigh of relief. If Lin Jufeng didn't want to be discovered, he definitely wouldn't be discovered. But the courtyard could no longer be tidied up. Princess Yulin blurted out in surprise, "Is there anyone living here? This bed is so cold." Princess Yulin sat on the frost jade bed and muttered in amazement. "I can feel energy surging in my body just by sitting here for a moment. My cultivation base has also been bolstered for quite a lot." Princess Yulin's pleasant surprise continued. "There are so many books here, what are they all about?" Princess Yulin saw the books that the holy maiden gave to Lin Jufeng. As she browsed through the books, her expression gradually turned serious, even surprised. In the end, she even covered her mouth. "This should be the treasure left behind by Grandpa Emperor. I've found it!" Princess Yulin exclaimed in excitement. A brand new world had opened up for her. Both Lin Jufeng and the white cat looked at each other for a while. In the end, they could only reveal bitter smiles. What should they do with this girl? Princess Yulin discovered a new world. Her horizons have been broadened. The education that she received since she was young taught her that this world was like the way it was now. She had always thought that the Yuha god dynasty was very powerful, powerful enough to suppress the world. But the things recorded in these books were simply too shocking and hard for her to accept. It turned out that the Yuha god dynasty wasn't that powerful. In fact, it could even be said that the dynasty was even qualified to be called strong. It turned out that there were so many undercurrents in this peaceful world. If the Yuha god dynasty wasn't careful, they could easily be destroyed. It turned out that the number of cultivators was sometimes low and sometimes high. All of these were due to the rise and decline of the world's spiritual energy. The more she read, the more her horizons were broadened. The way this innocent white flower looked at the world was gradually being reshaped. However, she was quick to adapt to these changes. After confirming that all of these were real, she decisively looked at the world in a brand new way. Her outlook in life has also changed and it also affected her attitude. Lin Jufeng and the white cat witnessed the entire process. For several days in a row, Princess Yulin was immersed in the sea of books. She absorbed the knowledge contained in this place at a rapid pace. On the contrary, Lin Jufeng and the white cat became homeless. Both man and cat stayed outside the courtyard for a few days, just so they wouldn't disturb Lin Jufeng's grandnephew. Although she wasn't Lin Jufeng's biological daughter, she was still Emperor Yuan's biological granddaughter. Therefore, her relationship with Lin Jufeng was that of a very close descendant. Watching the little girl slowly change from a little white rabbit to a mature fox, Lin Jufeng didn't know what to say. The books delivered by the Holy Maiden contained countless schemes and tricks. Moreover, many of them had been passed down for thousands of years. It all broadened Princess Yulin's horizons. But in the end, she became exhausted from reading all of these. Her heart was no longer as pure as before. Grandpa Emperor, it turns out that our world is actually so turbulent. Is it because of the guidance of your spirit in heaven that I discovered the books in this bed here? They are very suitable for me. My cultivation has improved by leaps and bounds in the past few days. Princess Yulin smiled happily. She had seen many crafty plots and schemes from these books, and these machinations added a lot of different colors to her pure heart. But in essence, she was still that beautiful and kind girl. The quality engraved on a person's heart and bones wouldn't be easily wiped away. I just saw a book that recorded the Zenith Heaven Path sect's history. It turns out that it's a sect that isn't from this era, but from the previous era. It's simply terrifying. Those records made me tremble in fear, Princess Yulin muttered solemnly. The Zenith Heaven Path sect has already gained the trust of my brother Emperor. He's just like my father Emperor, stubborn as a bull. I don't have concrete evidence, so I won't be able to convince him to keep his guard up against the Zenith Heaven Path sect. Princess Yulin held the book. She really wanted to run over and show it to her brother Emperor. Unfortunately, her brother was currently in seclusion to make a breakthrough into the martial sage realm. It would take him at least 3 months to do so. She wouldn't be able to see her brother for the next 3 months. What should I do? Princess Yulin asked herself, vexed. Lin Jufeng couldn't help but smile when he saw how troubled Princess Yulin was. She's indeed from the imperial family. Even if she's a woman, upon sensing that there's a problem with the Zenith Heaven Path sect, she will still be anxious about keeping a time bomb in such close proximity, Lin Jufeng said. She's just too weak, the white cat said. In the past, when Princess Yulin was practicing martial arts, she wasn't that passionate about it. As a result, she was only at the innate realm at the age of 16. I can help her improve and make her stronger so that she can fight against the Zenith Heaven Path sect. This way, I won't have to worry about the Yuha God dynasty falling into the hands of others, Lin Jufeng said. Then, don't you have to meet her to do that? The white cat asked. No, Lin Jufeng shook his head. I don't have to meet her. I can just teach her in her dreams. The white cat suddenly remembered that Lin Jufeng's divine soul was now so powerful that he could suppress her, a human god, with just a word. Then, wouldn't it be a piece of cake for him to enter the dream of an innate realm cultivator to impact martial arts and teach her? After that, Lin Jufeng gave his courtyard to Princess Yulin so that she could stay inside. Lin Jufeng wandered around the cold palace with the white cat. Princess Yulin never knew that there was someone else in this cold palace. One night, she got tired of reading. In a daze, she came to a world where the clouds floated endlessly in the skies. Standing with his hands behind his back, Lin Jufeng looked at Princess Yulin and asked with a smile, "Do you want to learn the sword?" "Who are you?" Princess Yulin asked cautiously. "I was invited by your grandpa Emperor to help you cultivate. This is your dream world," Lin Jufeng said softly. "Really?" Princess Yulin looked at Lin Jufeng suspiciously. "Regardless of whether it's real or fake, take a look at this sword technique first and see if it suits you." Lin Jufeng began to unsheath his sword. With a stroke of his sword, he directly shattered this dream world. Ah! Princess Yulin was shocked. She screamed and woke up to find that she was still reading before she nodded off. It was really a dream. Princess Yulin blurted in surprise. That strike just now was ridiculously powerful. Princess Yulin swallowed. Determined, she forced herself to fall asleep. Entering her dream world again, Princess Yulin began to seriously practice swordsmanship with Lin Jufeng. Lin Jufeng's strength was unfathomable. It was easy for him to teach and enlighten Princess Yulin. Her strength doubled overnight. Early in the morning of the next day, the awakened Princess Yulin decisively came to the courtyard to practice her swordsmanship. Ultimate Heaven Slashing Sword Skill. This sword technique was very powerful. After learning it overnight, she only managed to comprehend a little bit of it. But when she unsheathed her sword, it was already powerful enough to become a killing move for her. Only then did Princess Yulin believe that the mysterious man in her dream was someone that Grandpa Emperor had hired to teach her. Hence, she quickly entered her dream once more and continued to learn from Lin Jufeng. Directly next door sat Lin Jufeng with a smile on his face. He closed his eyes and his divine soul invaded Princess Yulin's subconscious as he directly entered his dream world. There, he began to teach her once more. With Lin Jufeng's current cultivation base, it was a piece of cake for him to teach and enlighten a person. Especially since Princess Yulin shared the same bloodline as him, it wasn't a problem for her to learn his ultimate heaven-slashing sword skill. A month later, Princess Yulin made a breakthrough into the Great Grandmaster realm. She didn't even dare to imagine that her cultivation speed could actually be so fast. However, with the help of the abundant spiritual energy of the world and Lin Jufeng's guidance along with her diligent cultivation, she was able to achieve such a feat. In the second month, Lin Jufeng helped her make a breakthrough into the martial sage realm. When Princess Yulin finally stood at the martial sage realm, she couldn't seem to believe that she was looking at reality. Everything just seemed so surreal. It was too exaggerated. In 2 months, she arrived at the martial sage realm from the innate realm. It has to be known that her brother Emperor was also working hard at this moment to make a breakthrough into the martial sage realm. Yet, she actually managed to break that boundary so easily. And after the 3rd month, Lin Jufeng continued to teach Princess Yulin to the best of his abilities. In the martial sage realm, Princess Yulin was now invincible with her ultimate heaven-slashing sword skill. 3 months later from the time he started teaching her, Lin Jufeng said to Princess Yulin in the dream world, "It's time for you to leave. Don't stay here any longer." "But I still want to continue cultivating." Princess Yulin bit her red lips and refused. "The scouts from the Yuha God dynasty are looking for you everywhere. Something seemed to have happened, you should go out now," Lin Jufeng sincerely advised. If she didn't leave, both he and the white cat wouldn't be able to return to their courtyard. Lin Jufeng only allowed her to stay in the cold palace for 3 months because of Princess Yulin's bloodline. Considering this, he didn't hold back and even entered her dreams to teach her the ultimate heaven-slashing sword skill. Princess Yulin was one of Lin Tianyuan's 2 children. The 30-year-old Lin Tianyuan didn't expect that he would die so young, so he wasn't in a hurry to have children. But after being duped by the mountain ghost race, his body became weak and it became impossible for him to have any more children. Hence, his eldest son succeeded the throne and his daughter became the only princess of the Yuha God dynasty. Lin Jufeng thought that he would never see Princess Yulin and Emperor De in his life, but who would have thought that Princess Yulin would come here on her own? Since she had discovered this place on her own, Lin Jufeng didn't mind giving her some pointers to make her stronger. Then, he also let her find out that the Zenith Heaven Path sect had malicious intentions so that she would target the Zenith Heaven Path sect in the Yuha God dynasty and inform Emperor De of their malice at the same time. This saved Lin Jufeng the trouble of handling this problem on his own. He could once again continue his peaceful routine. As long as the problem wasn't that big, Lin Jufeng didn't really want to go out. His routine of beating up those demons in the den and receiving treasures in return didn't seem bad, was it? If the Yuha God dynasty needed Lin Jufeng's help in every problem they encountered, then they would truly be useless. In the end, Princess Yulin left. Lin Jufeng was right. She had disappeared for 3 months, and the entire Yuha God dynasty was looking for her. If she still didn't appear, the entire world would definitely be alarmed. The only princess of the current dynasty actually went missing. If word got out, it would definitely cause a huge commotion. Of course, this was largely because the Yuha God dynasty's influence was boundless. After the arrival of the new era, countless forces were facing a reshuffle in power. But the number 1 force in the world, the Yuha God dynasty, continued to maintain its huge territory without showing any sign of collapse. This made people click their tongues in wonder. Therefore, if news of the Yuha God dynasty's princess's disappearance spread, it would definitely cause an uproar in the world. The entire imperial court was anxious. They searched everywhere, but no one thought of the cold palace. Even when they passed by the cold palace, no one paid any attention to it. They just ignored it completely. The cold palace and Lin Jufeng really had no presence in the Yuha God dynasty at all. But he was also happy about this. After Princess Yulin left, he and the white cat entered the courtyard. Seeing the clean courtyard, the white cat said in surprise, I didn't expect that the princess who was born with a golden spoon would also know how to clean. I thought that after 3 months, our courtyard would be very dirty. Lin Jufeng looked at the spotless courtyard and said in satisfaction, she's a good child. Lin Jufeng really regarded the princess as his junior. Calculating the time, he was about 60 years old by now. If this was in his previous life, he would definitely be an old man. In fact, he was already acting like one, seeing that he favored outstanding children. Her arrival was an accident, she probably won't come anymore. Let's continue our quiet life here, Lin Jufeng said casually. You must be dreaming, the white cat mumbled. Lin Jufeng pretended not to hear anything. He laid on the frost jade bed and closed his eyes to cultivate. Princess Yulin came to the Forbidden City and met her brother, Emperor De. Where have you been? When Emperor De saw his younger sister, he sized her up carefully. After ensuring that his younger sister wasn't taken disadvantage of, he suppressed his anger and questioned her. Brother Emperor, where have you been for the past 3 months? Princess Yulin asked with a smile. I was cultivating in seclusion to make a breakthrough into the martial sage realm. Why are you questioning me instead? Emperor De said angrily. Did you know how anxious mother was and how many tears she shed in private? Emperor De wanted to hit his sister and punish her. But in the end, he couldn't bear to do so. Princess Yulin scratched her head in embarrassment and said, I will go and visit mother. I have my own things to do. What exactly are you busy with? Emperor De asked angrily. Same as you, Princess Yulin said nonchalantly. She was very excited and wanted to show off, but she suppressed it with all her might and pretended not to care. She looked very cute like this. Emperor De's anger dissipated under his sister's cute expression. He sneered. Like me. I broke through to the martial sage realm in seclusion, but as for you, you went out to play, didn't you? Emperor De looked at his sister in disdain. Are you looking down on me? Princess Yulin raised her brows. Come, let's fight. I will let you know that a scholar who has been away for 3 days must be looked at with brand new eyes. Your younger sister is no longer the younger sister of 3 months ago. Have you taken the wrong medicine? Have you gone mad? Emperor De looked at Princess Yulin strangely. I'm the youngest martial sage in the royal family of the Yuha God dynasty, and I'm also the emperor. You want to fight me? Emperor De looked at his sister's delicate body and shook his head in contempt. Alright, you've been looking down on me all the way. Come, receive one strike from me. Princess Yulin was furious. She made a sword sign with her fingers and imitated Lin Jufeng. She directly drew her sword and unsheathed it. Emperor De didn't take Princess Yulin seriously at all. He only thought that she was fooling around. But in the very next moment, the ultimate heaven-slashing sword skill was already out of its scabbard. It brought with it a sonorous sound that reverberated in the surroundings. It was very loud and clear, causing his expression to change drastically. Not good. At this moment, Emperor De knew that he had made a mistake. A huge mistake. He really had to look at this younger sister of his in a different light. Emperor's scripture. Emperor De raised his hand to counterattack. His true chi condensed and spread all over his body. But in the very next moment, the ultimate heaven-slashing sword skill tore through his true chi. The sword energy that seemed to have turned tangible landed on Emperor De's neck. The cold sword energy sent chills down his back. He actually had no ability to resist at all. Under this sword, he could only wait for his death. Emperor De was horrified. He looked at his younger sister in shock. At this moment, Princess Yulin was smiling happily. Brother Emperor, you were wrong when you said that you were the youngest martial sage in the royal family. I am the youngest now, Princess Yulin announced happily. She was only 16 years old, 2 years younger than Emperor De. Emperor De asked in shock, you were only at the innate realm 3 months ago. Princess Yulin dispersed the sword energy of the ultimate heaven-slashing sword skill. With her hands behind her back, she said proudly, as I said, I've really been busy with something in the past 3 months. A scholar who has been away for 3 days must be looked at with brand new eyes. Have you changed your opinion of me? Emperor De looked at his sister whose tail was about to reach the sky. He smiled bitterly and said, you've given me too many surprises. There are even bigger surprises, Princess Yulin whispered. What? Emperor De looked at his sister in surprise. Brother, leave your guards behind. I will bring you to a place, Princess Yulin said softly. What place? Emperor De asked curiously. I discovered the treasures that Grandpa Emperor left behind, Princess Yulin leaned over and whispered into Emperor De's ear. Emperor De's eyes widened. He looked at Princess Yulin and whispered to her. Are you sure? Of course. Otherwise, how could I have broken through so quickly? Princess Yulin replied. And if you go, you will definitely be shocked. This world isn't as simple as you think it is. Princess Yulin smiled mysteriously. All right, go and see mother first. I will wait for you here. Bring me there at night, Emperor De said solemnly. All right, I'll go see mother first, then I'll come and find you. Princess Yulin got up and left. She left the giddy and expectant Emperor De behind. A treasure left behind by Grandpa Emperor. What exactly was it? Lin Jufeng, who was cultivating with the white cat, had no idea of this scene. Thanks for listening. The story continues shortly. This was read to you by Erebus.